Welcome back, everyone. Excited to be here with you. We're making good progress on the portion of Vayeshev. We're 80% complete. This beautiful portion. Very excited for the next portion of Miketz, which is coming up very soon. I think April 20th. We're starting the new portion, and we're in the middle of some very beautiful revelations in the Zohar about consciousness, about how to overcome the tests, how to overcome the challenges that come from our opponents, how to overcome our selfish nature. So let's begin by setting our intention. We know that the Zohar is the most powerful tool to help us overcome any darkness within ourselves and the world. It is a great light that eliminates all negativity. And by connecting to the light of the Zohar, as we said yesterday, by connecting to the light of the Torah, to studying with investment, with desire, with consistency, with effort, then that helps us overcome any of the negativity within. The Zohar will continue to explain that today. So with the prayer of the Ari, we open up our hearts with deep appreciation for this merit that we have of access to the light of the Zohar. Today being the fourth day of the Omer. It's Netzach of Chesed, which is energy of persistence and effort, going out of our comfort zone, which is where all the spiritual work takes place. Yesterday was about restriction, today is about perseverance. And we want to awaken, as we say every day, a deep appreciation for the merit that we have to live in such a time that we have access to the Zohar, that we live in the time after Rav Shimon has revealed this light, do what we can to help share and reveal more of this light in the world. ריבון העולמים ואדוני האדונים אבא רחמים וסליחו ומודים אנחנו לפניך אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו וקידשנו שחווה שקרב אותנו לתורתך ולעבודתך ולקודש נתת לנו אחד הקדושות תורתך הקדושה מה אנו מהחיים אשר עשיתם אנו חסר גדול כזה וכן אנחנו מעפילים תחנוננו לפניך שתמחול ותסלח לכל חטאותינו ועוונותינו ואל יהיו עוונותינו מבדילים ממנו לבניך וכן יעזור לפניך אדוני אלוהינו ולאבותינו שתכונן את לבבינו ליראתך ולאהבתך ותקשיב אוזניך לדברים אלה ותפתח לבבינו הערה ביסודות תורתך וילד זה נחת וכך לפני חסך ותחכך ניחוח ותציל עלינו עומק כל נשמתנו וכל בחירתנו ושאינו תוצאים מצוותו בדרך כלל הקדושים והידע מגדיל את דבריך בעולם וזכותם וזכות אבותם וזכות אבותם ותמותם וקשותם ויעמוד לנו בבקשה בדברנו ובזכותם תרננו מה שעומדים כמאמן עם זמירות ישראל גלנה וביטן נפלא מתורתך כי אדוני ייתן חוכמה מפיו דעת ותבונה יהיו לצונים לפיו והנונים לפניך אדוני צורגו עלי. Paragraph 229. Zohar continues. Right, we said in 220, 227 and 228 that there are different paths. There are paths that lead us to negativity and death, and there are paths that lead us to peace and life and blessings. Our selfishness will always lead us. Our selfishness will always lead us down a path of negativity and darkness, and a connection to the light will always lead us down a path of peace and blessings. And we have to choose. It's the daily choices that we make that determine which path we're on. Every reactive choice means I'm on a path of selfishness. I'm on a path of ego. I'm on a path of that my opponent set out for me. Every act of restriction, every act of kindness and sharing and love, every act that is beyond my nature and that reveals light is on the path of holiness, is on the path of connecting to the light. So the Zohar continues. Tachazeh, come and see. Kad ha'esit labisha nachat v'shat ba'alma. We were saying before that the negative side goes and stands by the Creator and tries to awaken judgment upon the individual and the world. So the Zohar is saying when this negative side descends down into this world and hovers, floats around this world, it sees the actions of humanity. Seeing that the actions of humanity are primarily inspired by the ego as opposed to the soul. Our nature, when we come into this world, is governed by our opponent. And when the negative side sees that we are so faithfully following that path of negativity, of destruction, of selfishness, then the negative side, Salik Le'ela, goes back up to the heavens, back to the Creator, Ve'astinlon, and accuses us, creates judgment against us. And if the Creator did not have great mercy for all of His creations, for all of us, we would not be able to remain in this world. We know that, I think it's the portion of Toldot, but it occurs a few times in the Zohar, where the angels ask the Creator, God, why are you going to waste your time creating humanity? They're gonna mess up. You know they're going to follow, the path of death, destruction, of selfishness of their opponent. Why do you even bother creating them? The Creator said, because I created also a path of teshuvah. I created a path of transformation. I created a process by which they can, no matter how far they find themselves from the light, they can always find their way back. And that's the mercy the Zohar here is talking about. The Creator has mercy on us, that no matter the negativity that we've caused for ourselves and for the world, we always have a way to come back. Sometimes we have to come back in another incarnation, but nevertheless, we still have a way back. We still have a way to correct. And that's also the blessing of time. The fact that there is time is what, if there was no time between cause and effect, that a person would do something negative, immediately they would receive the negative consequence to that. We would be toast. It wouldn't work. We wouldn't be able to survive it in a second. So the Creator introduced the merciful aspect of time to give us a chance to correct. A person can do something negative. A person can act in a selfish way. And they have maybe a few weeks, a few months, a few years, maybe a few decades to correct that negativity in their lifetime by changing. And the opponent says, let me bring the consequence of that negativity. The Creator says, no, they might correct today. They might change today. They might do the correction today. You don't have permission. Right? We'll see soon that only negativity that can come to this world has to be given, the negative side has to be given permission. That's why it says, we read about this also in the Zohar, could be in the portion of Vayeshev, maybe, where every morning when we wake up, the Creator looks at our soul stands face to face to the Creator, and the Creator says, I believe in you. I believe that you can fulfill your correction today. I believe that you can make the changes you need to make today. I believe that you can correct whatever negative consequence might be headed your way. You can correct whatever caused that. And every day that we wake up, the Creator believes in us. That's how important every day is, and that's how much faith the Creator has in us. And therefore, that's where this mercy, the Zohar here is talking about, that we have a way to correct, no matter how much judgment we probably deserve, no matter how much negativity should be headed towards us, the Creator stands in front of the negativity and protects us. Paragraph 230. Maktiv. Now we're going back to the story of Joseph in the house of his master. He said that his master's wife, Potiphar's wife, she tried to seduce him. And we'll read more about this process, but now the Zohar is going to explain these verses about how how his wife, Potiphar's wife, his master's wife, tried to seduce him, is actually really on a deeper level interaction between the opponent, the negative side, and the Creator and our soul. We'll see what the Zohar says. It says, every day she spoke to Joseph, every single day, trying to convince him, tried to seduce him, it says she made her initial attempt. He ran away, and he refused. But then it says that every single day she would try, day after day, she would try and speak to him. What is kedabra? What does it mean that she spoke to him, or as she coaxed him? Kedabra desalka v'sate b'chol yom v'yoma. Now we're talking about the opponent. The negative side every single day goes up. It sees what's happening in our world. It sees how we're behaving. It sees where our consciousness is. It sees how we're negative. It goes up every single day. And it says in front of the Creator, Kama bishin, kama dil torin. It says, it reports to the Creator. The Creator, as Rav Ashlag says, represents the energy. The Creator is represented by Joseph in the story. Creator also represents the Zerampin. Joseph is also the level of Zerampin, if you saw. So the opponent comes to the Creator, right? Just like the woman comes to Joseph and tries every day to speak about all this evil and slander, evil reports about humanity. In order to eliminate, to destroy, to bring destruction down to the world, to destroy humanity. That's the force of destruction. That's the angel of death to bring destruction. 230 maktiv. But Joseph did not listen to her every day, and he didn't sleep with her. And the same thing, the Creator also did not listen. What does it mean, did not sleep with her? We'll see what that means. What does it mean the Creator did not listen to her? Because the Creator did not listen to all the evil reports. The Creator did not bring the probably fair judgment to the world. Instead, the Creator had mercy on the world. Lishkav etzla, what does it mean to lay with her, to lie beside her? Ma'u lishkav etzla, begin the nasva shaltanu l'shalta al alma. The Creator did not lay with her. Rav Ashlag explains that to lay beside, to lay with her means unification. It means to sleep with her, literally. And we know unification or any act of intimacy or sleeping with is a connection that draws down energy and power. So the Creator refused to give that power to the negative side, give that power to the negative side to have control over the world. V'shaltanu la shalta adi tehiv deityehev le reshu. And the negative side has no power over this world, has no control over this world, has no influence over this world unless it is given that power. Unless the negative side is empowered with the energy to create destruction, it cannot. Now, what's the problem with our negative actions? Here in the Zohar says that the Creator refused to give power to the negative side. But in other places, the Zohar explains that we actually give that power to the negative side. Where do the forces of darkness receive their strength? Where do they receive their power? Because we like to think, just like in the physical world, that the absence of light is darkness, right? That's what we think. The darkness in the world is just an absence of light. The Kabbalists say it's not so simple. There is a force to darkness. In a spiritual sense, there is actually a force of darkness. What is this force of darkness? It is light that is covered by klipot. It is light that is covered by negativity. But always remember, the core of that is light. So where does that light come from? That's the light every time we get reactive. Every time we act in a negative way with hatred and selfishness and laziness and judgment, we're taking the light the Creator gave us to reveal in this world, and we are empowering the negative side. The Creator refuses to do it, as the Zohar says. But unfortunately, we're not so reluctant. We're great supporters of the negative side through our negative actions. And that's what the process of teshuvah is, to take back all that light that we've empowered negativity. We studied before as well that every time I act in accordance with my selfishness and my ego, my left side, I empower the forces of the left side in this world. I empower the forces of darkness in this world. But the opposite is also true. When I come from love and compassion and humility and sharing and kindness, then I empower the forces of positivity in this world. 232. Devacha, another explanation of lishkav etzla, when it says to lie beside her. As it says, uliish asher yishkavin tmea. When it says in Leviticus, it's like concerning a man who lies with an impure woman, which means to lie with her, talking not about the wife of Potiphar only, but with the negative side means to be to lie with an impure woman, which represents the side of darkness, the side of impurity, the side of selfishness. Lihiyot ima, to be with her, means another explanation of what we said before. Lemehav la revu uvichan v'siyata, that the negative side wants to receive strength and blessings and power and support and help. However, the Creator refuses to give that support and strength and blessings, because if the Creator did give that support, there would not be a single one of us remaining here. Because the Creator has mercy on us. The world remains even when the negative side does have power, because the Creator gives us support and protects us. The world remains standing. There's a few words here that Rav Shimon adds in the commentary that are a little unclear to me, and I'm still haven't figured out how to understand them, so I won't go into them right now. But Rav Shimon adds something a little after. He says the difference between paragraph 231 and 232 in terms of the control the negative side has. He says in the first explanation, 231, laying with her, the opponent, represents the power that's given from the side of holiness to the side of negativity to give the opponent, the negative side, permission to cause destruction. So the Creator does not give that power, which means permission, to the negative side to cause destruction. The other explanation in paragraph 232 represents that when it means laying with her means that yeah, I don't really understand the second one. I need to try and understand that better. It sounds like it's like the light that the Creator gives the world to deal with, meaning the protection the Creator gives the world to deal with when the negativity is present in the world. I'm still not clear about that. I have a big question mark here, so when I get back to it, I'll try and understand it. Put another question mark. But that's the beauty of the daily Zohar. That's the beauty of the Zohar. You don't have to understand everything, right? We just make our effort. And I always tell myself, if we did understand everything, then how deep would it really be, right? Okay, 233. What is lihiyot imamin? Oh no, we did that already. 233. Rabbi Abba says, Kol acha chada. It's all one path, meaning both these explanations are both one explanation. They're really the same. Avad yetzer hara, when it comes to the evil inclination, hu de ka'azin mufate lo nimnei nasha. The evil inclination is constantly going around and trying to seduce people. Now, we have to also awaken ourselves. The fact that we're studying this is very important, because how do you overcome your enemy? You have to know your enemy's tactics. So by studying now about the ways the opponent tries to seduce us, tries to confuse us, tries to control us, that removes part of the strength of the opponent, because if the opponent is able to sneak up on us, we're more easily fooled. But if we know that this is how the opponent behaves, if we expose the opponent's plans and the opponent's methods, then they have less an effect over us. So we're not just doing this in a literal way to understand the tactics. We are uncovering the power of the negativity, removing the power of the negativity over us to be less controlled by the opponent, more controlled by our soul. So as we're studying this, we're meditating to overcome our own personal opponent, whatever that means to me, wherever that is for me in a certain area of my life, whatever type of addictions I have, whatever type of insecurities I have, whatever type of ego and arrogance I have, or insecurity of lack of self-belief. These sections are helping us overcome the way the opponent personally gets you and I. So begin la'asta achayu. The opponent tries to seduce us, to get us to go on his path. Ulidabka beho, and to cleave, to attach to the the paths of the opponent, to set ourselves on that path. And I think we've all been there where we're sometimes just so stuck in our own head, we're sometimes so stuck in our negative ways that that's the only path that we see. It's so hard to get out of that cycle of maybe anger, of complaining, of feeling like a victim. It's so hard to get out of it sometimes because we're so stuck on that path and we don't know how to get out of it. B'chol yoma v'yoma, every single day, b'chol idan v'idan, every single moment. Sateh le'levarnash me'archa dikshot. The negative side tries to divert us from the path of truth. Begin ledachia le me'archa dechaya, in order to push us off, to deviate from the path of life. Le'amshacha le legehenom, to put us on the path of to drag us down into hell. That's what the negative side tries to do. Now we're going to speak about hell again. Let's also reframe, what is hell? Hell is not a place of punishment. Hell represents a place of darkness that is a more difficult path of correction. If we have certain klipot and negativity to remove here, it's much easier and merciful to remove it here, because once our soul leaves this body, it's much harder to cleanse. It says, for example, that if you reach into your pocket and you have two things in your pocket, you need to grab one thing, but you instead grab the other thing. That inconvenience is a moment of cleansing. That little inconvenience. You needed to grab your car keys out of your pocket, but instead you grabbed a coin. That little inconvenience is actually a moment of cleansing. It's actually a moment of removing the hold or the klipot of the negative side over your soul. Now, what would it look like to cleanse that out of the body? That's what we call hell, right? So it's like those little inconveniences, those little moments where, that little headache that you have, or that little moment of disappointment. Now, if you get reactive to it, then the cleansing doesn't work. Every moment of pain or inconvenience or annoyance can be a moment of cleansing if you manage to embrace it, if you manage to lean into it, if you manage to accept it and pause in that moment. If not, then you're going to have more harsh ways to deal with that cleansing. In our world, we can cleanse. That's why it says when a person in their final days in this world, the kind of the pain and suffering and the discomfort often that they feel can actually save them an entire lifetime of another incarnation. Just 5 minutes of discomfort and suffering in this world is worth a lot of cleansing out of this world. So hell is the hard way of cleansing, which obviously that's what the opponent is leading us towards darkness, which means we have more to cleanse, which is not what we want. 234. Zakayu manda aved v'nater achoy ushviloi. Happy is the person, praiseworthy is the person who does the positive actions, who lives a life of restriction and sharing and kindness. And they walk and they protect themselves on this path in all the ways. They protect themselves from the path of the negative side. Begin to make sure they don't attach to the negative side and the paths of the negative side. As it says, it says in our verse, that every day the negative side tries to seduce us, tries to seduce our soul, tries to get us to follow that path. But we didn't listen. We don't listen. Those are the tzaddikim who don't listen. We don't listen to what she says every single day to us, what the opponent tells us every day to get reactive and to be manipulative and speak negatively and be judgmental. We don't listen to the reactive voice. Because this evil spirit, the evil inclination, the negative side, the spirit of unholiness, defilement, tries to seduce us every single day. Every day, as it says, to lie beside her, to partner with the negative side. Go Gehenom, to lie with her down in hell. Ulidana taman, and to be judged there, to have to go through a harsher cleansing process there. Lihiot, to be there with the negative side. Right? I guess even the negative side doesn't want to be alone. Tries to drag us into to the depths. But the Creator doesn't want us to go there. The Creator wants us to be happy. Can't be happy in hell, right? It's not a happy place. So Zohar continues 235. Tachazeh, come and see. Kad banash idabak behusitra. When unfortunately a person does fall prey to the opponent and attaches themselves to that side, idmashach avatra, drawn after it, v'ista v'ima b'ha'alma, and becomes defiled by the negative side in this world. That's what happens when we choose that side. We become impure, right? That's I think Sarah Weston shared this. I don't know who shared this recently. I think on the Seder, Karen Berg would say the punishment, what's the negative effect of being jealous is that you're jealous. Karen Berg would say that, right? The punishment of anger is that you're angry. All the punishment of reactivity is that you're reactive, which means you're just attaching yourself to negativity. You're being drawn deeper and deeper into that darkness, and the harder it is to get out of it. Tachazeh, come and see. Hasita misava minuvala ihu. The negative side is profane. Lichlucha ihu. It's dirty. It's filthy. Kedichtiv, as it says, tse tomalo. In speaking about removing the negativity and idolatry in the book of Isaiah, it says tse tomalo. Out. Call out to the negativity. The Zohar says, what does the word tse mean, to go out? Tso'a mamash. It's the same root as the word tso'a. Tso'a means excrement. That's what the negative side is. Uve itdan man de aste archoi min oraita. And it's an excrement and, filth, feces, and everything that a soul puts themselves in. The Zohar is very descriptive here. Whoever diverts from the path of the Torah finds themselves, in excrement. Uve idanu, right? There's another word for it that we more commonly use, right? Uve idanu inun chayavin alma, and it says that is what negative people in the world, out of this world, they go through cleansing. The late lon mehemnuta b'kuchalichu, because they don't have certainty in the Creator. Then the cleansing is, and there's different things in the Zohar that talk about it, different levels of hell. Some of it is fire, some of it is ice and snow, some of it is called boiling excrement, that the soul has to go through a very unpleasant process. There's a few very, very funny jokes about that, but we don't have time for that. 236. Maktiv, what does it say? By the way, burning excrement in hell is not a joke, but there's a joke about it. Maktiv, what does it say? So now going back to the story of Joseph, it says that every day she would try and seduce him. And then it happened that one day he came to the house to do his work, and there was no one else in the house. It says that on that day, it was the day where the Nile, there was a day, I think once a year maybe, that there was the water of the Nile would rise up, and it was some special ceremony in Egypt that everyone would go and witness it. And Joseph, he wasn't, he was a slave. He didn't have time to go to ceremonies. He was cleaning the house. And the wife of his master, Potiphar's wife, decided to stay home that day because she wanted to, have a chance to be alone with Joseph and seduce him, with all of her might. And so everyone left the house, and he was the only one there, and he didn't know, and she was the only one there, and no one else was home. What does Vayi Kayom Hazeh mean? What does, on that day, it happened one day. It represents a time when the evil inclination makes a greater effort to control this world, or has greater control in this world. And comes to try and lead people astray, tries to get us to disconnect. Now, this might surprise you. When is this moment that the opponent has control and wants to cause the most destruction? When does this happen? It's the same day that a person wants to change. The same day a person wants to do teshuvah. The same day a person wants to go through a transformation process. That's when the opponent is strongest. Or when a person wants to study the Torah to make a connection to this wisdom and to this light. And to fulfill the precepts, the actions of the Torah, to do the spiritual work. Kadena huzimna nachta. That is the time when the negative side comes down, begin la'asta livnei nasha, and to cause distractions and to try and seduce humanity and try and create a mess, right? Because the opponent wants to avoid make us avoid or tries to prevent us from doing teshuvah, trying to prevent us from making transformations, from overcoming our inner opponent, overcoming it, tries to prevent us from connecting to the light of the Torah to study, tries to prevent us from doing positive actions and positive precepts. So every day the opponent is trying to catch you, it's basically a day where your soul is ready to do all the positive actions in the world, to make all the changes. And the opponent says, wait a minute, I can't let this happen. I need to go right there. And that's why the Kabbalists teach that when the moment that you are ready to give up is often the moment where you're closest to achieving what it is that you want. The moment where your opponent is strongest trying to stop you is because that's the moment where actually you can reveal the most amount of life. That's why the Kabbalists say, when you fall, don't continue to fall. Don't give in to that moment, because that is really the opponent tried to catch you, tried its hardest to stop you because you were the closest to light at that moment. The moment after you fall, it's the most important moment to connect to the light, because it means you were closest to that revelation. It means you were closest to revealing the power of your soul. It means you were closest to actually making a change. Also, another understanding from this is when you are closest to your next level, right? Or every time you grow spiritually, your opponent is going to grow with you. That's where the growth happens. The resistance, right? Just like in the gym, you want to get stronger, you need to lift heavier weights. You want to get to the next spiritual level of your soul, your opponent is going to be stronger for you to overcome. We have to reframe how we see the negativity and the moments, the down moments in life. It actually means when the opponent tries hardest, it means I'm actually at the highest level I've ever been, or at least recently. When the opponent gets the best of me, when all the negative thoughts come in and all the doubt and all the judgment, it's because the opponent realizes, wait a minute, he's about to level up. She's about to level up. I got to do what I can to stop. I got to do what I can to divert them from the path of their soul, because they're going to outrank me soon. That is the moment where we need to double down on our spiritual work. Right? It's such a different way to see the moments that we're challenged. The moments that we're challenged are actually the moment where your soul shines the brightest and the opponent is scrambling to do whatever he can to stop us. Right? When is the time when the day that the opponent tries to catch us when no one's around? It's the day that I'm the most connected to my spiritual work, the day that I'm going to make the biggest changes. I know we're over time. We're just going to continue a little more. 2:37. What does it mean that he came home to the house to do the work? Begin. What is the work that he came to do? What is the work that our soul came to do? What is the work that we're here to do? To study the Torah, to be connected to the spiritual work, and to fulfill the precepts of the Torah. What is the work of our soul? What is our work in this lifetime? That is our work in this world, connected to the light of the Torah, doing the spiritual work, revealing the light in the world, power of restriction, the power of change, kindness and positivity. That's our work. What's our life's purpose? Everyone's looking for purpose. Oh, am I here to create this business? Am I here to fulfill that, thing in the world, to discover this? What's my purpose? Your purpose is this, what the Zohar says. What is your purpose in life? Your purpose is to reveal the light of your soul. Your purpose is to connect to this light, this wisdom. Your purpose is to overcome your opponent within. Your purpose is to share your unique light. And yes, it might be owning a bakery, and it might be, building roads, and it might be running a company. But those are just the storyline to your spiritual work, your soul's work. This is the work of every individual in this world. To study, to connect to the light of the Torah, to fulfill the precepts of the Torah, to do the spiritual work. And it's not that you sit there and you read a Zohar all day. No, how do you fulfill the precepts with the Torah? It's when you act with kindness with the people around you. Right? Yesterday was Rav Brandwein's day of elevation, and there was an interview Rav Brandwein did. He said there's two types of spiritual actions in this world. He said there are the actions that you do between you and the Creator. That could be, where connect to the energy of Shabbat, maybe when you connect to the Zohar, when you do, the Passover connections, eating matzah, all the spiritual actions, the mitzvot that a person does. That's between a person and the Creator. And Rav Brandwein says, don't get me wrong, those are really important. But the more important mitzvot, the more important precepts are the one between a person and another person. When you help your friend move, when you go and help complete a minyan, Rav Brandwein says, when you complete the group of people that need to pray, when you find something someone else needs, those are more powerful connections. Those are real spiritual work. When you're honest in your business, you don't cheat other people. That's what it means to live the Torah. That's your purpose. The tests that a person goes through, the purpose of your business, the purpose of your work is not to be successful physically in this world. That is a byproduct of being successful spiritually in this world. Like we said yesterday, you can have 100% of the 1%. That's not what we're interested in. We're interested in the 100% of the 99%, or 99% of the 100%, whatever the ratio is there. To live a spiritual life, to do what the Zohar here is saying, yes, of course you still live in this world. You don't sit there and just, study text all day. That's not what the Zohar is saying. That's not what it means to study the Torah. That's not what it means to do the spiritual actions of the Torah. It means your kindness with other people. It means being an honest person and a trustworthy person. It means being a person of restriction. It means being a person of values of the Creator in this world. Because since that is the work of this person in this world, that's the work of the Creator. That's what it really means to serve the Creator. Serve the Creator is not about standing in a place of worship and praising God. How do you do what the Creator, how do you do the Creator's work in this world? What's the Creator's only desire? To share, to bring light to the world. When you help another person, it's the Creator acting through you. The Creator wants to help that person. So when you help that person, you're doing God's work. God's work is not to convince people to believe in God. God's work is not to preach and to do anything external. It's the inner work of my own transformation and the inner work of sharing and kindness to others. A person needs to be strong like a lion to do this spiritual work. That's what it says. The first phrase in the Shulchan Aruch, which is written by Rabbi Yosef Karo, one of the contemporaries of the Ari in Sfat. He's buried nearby the Ari in Sfat. The first thing he says when he begins his book called the Shulchan Aruch, which is the spiritual, physical and spiritual laws of this universe to live by the Torah. The first words he says is "Yitgaber ka'ari la'amod baboker." A person should strengthen themselves, be mighty like a lion when you stand up in the morning, when you wake up in the morning, la'avodat borot, to do your Creator's work. Every morning, that's why the Kabbalists say you got to wake up like a lion. A lot of us groggy and we're kind of, no, we got to be like a lion. Why? Zohar will explain even more tomorrow, but begin the we have to wake up like a lion, be with strength. The lion also represents the energy of chesed, right? If you know about the holy creatures, the holy beasts, there's the lion, which is chesed. There's the bull, the ox, which is gevura, and then there's the eagle, which is tiferet, and then there's man, which is malchut. So lion means you have to strengthen yourself with chesed. If the negative side, if you want to avoid the opponent taking control of you, what's the opponent? Left column. You have to be extreme right column, extreme sharing and kindness and certainty to overcome, to make sure that the negative side doesn't control you. To make sure the negative side can't seduce you. That's why it says that Joseph, there was no man at home, there was no one else at home. The Torah is saying that there's not enough people who are strong to overcome their opponent in this world. Not enough people who are waking up like a lion with chesed, with strength, with might. There's not enough of us who are waging war against our own inner opponent. We can fight against all types of things and all types of people and all causes. But how many of us are really focused on the only battle that really matters? Me versus my opponent. The Zohar will continue to explain about this. How does the opponent get us? Right? It says that she grabbed onto his clothes. We'll see more of that, what that means. How does the opponent keep us superficial and stuck? We'll connect more about that tomorrow. But thank you guys for joining. Very, very beautiful sections. There's a lot we didn't manage to explain and get to. I would recommend to read these sections again. There's a lot of depth and light in these sections to help you not just learn the ways of their opponent and learn nice things, but this gives you strength to overcome your opponent within. These are great sections to help you do that work. We'll continue tomorrow with 238. Sorry for going a bit over time again. It wasn't as long as yesterday, I think. But lots of love to everyone. Thank you for joining, and see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.